Epic Games has just cut pay to Fortnite creators severely, and this has been taking the world by storm right now. The Fortnite community is going crazy. We're going to talk about it. We're going to take a look at a tweet from Fortnite creators, what they are doing with the payout for UEFN maps. We're going to take a look at a bunch of people replying to it, a bunch of creators, a bunch of map makers, because this is absolutely huge and could potentially change the future of UEFN Fortnite forever. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about everybody's opinions. I'm going to give my thoughts, and as always, guys, I would love to know what you think about everything down below afterwards. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels. Guys, it's good to be back, man. Had a really busy couple weeks. So I want to bring you over to Fortnite creators on Twitter. Let's talk July's payout. Payouts fluctuate up and down with the normal seasonality we see across the overall Fortnite ecosystem. We also changed the payout formula to shift payouts towards islands that attract players to the ecosystem. This helps grow the pool for everyone, which is important for the continued growth and health of the ecosystem. With the formula change, we are seeing the payout noticeably move towards the variety of content this month. Now, it's very important to note that I'm not saying 100% that it has been cut by 80%. That's the number that I've been seeing float around everywhere, and I would imagine it's true. It's just saying, take that particular part that I said with a grain of salt, okay? That's the initial tweet from Fortnite creators, but before we get into a bunch of replies, there is a little bit of an update, which I really appreciate this tweet because this username over on Twitter, IDX Leffen, had this to say, and they brought some light to something that Epic Games said a while ago that I personally didn't know about. So, Epic's plan from the start of UEFN: award as much money as possible throughout the first 18 months, get publicity and hook creators, finish a lower paying formula at the end of the period, okay? So this is the actual statement from Epic Games, which is interesting. Engagement payout pool to creators based on engagement. Your engagement payout award reflects the engagement attribute to your content as a portion of user engagement across all content in Fortnite, as solely determined by Epic. The first 18 months of the engagement payout reward program will comprise an early access program, during which Epic will be frequently updating the formula used to calculate the engagement payout awards. You can learn more about how the engagement payout pool and your engagement payout award are calculated here by following creator news here. Now, this is the really interesting part, because when I initially heard that there's going to be a huge cut to creator pay, I was like, okay, that's not so great. At the end of the day, I'm ultimately, and even if that were the case, I would be on the side, well, make the best of your opportunity. That's what map makers should do. It sucks. Yeah, I'm still kind of on board with that, but I didn't know that Epic Games, and I don't know, like, if this was widely regarded. I don't know if the community know this, because I didn't know about this. If this was said that Epic Games is going to continuously update about, and for the first 18 months, this is how it's going to be, and now they're changing it, I don't believe the outrage is really warranted. But let's not take a look at just my opinion. I'm going to give lots of my opinions, and again, I'd love to know what you guys think afterwards. Let's get into what a ton of different creators had to say, map makers. What has been the general reaction within the Fortnite community? By the way, guys, if you were enjoying the video, please consider hitting like and subscribing to the channel. We make videos like this all the time, and I appreciate you guys being there. So let's start off with a little bit of a thread from Defaulting12. Your system attracts greedy developers who will throw away quality for money. The same few maps are promoted because of this. If you want more players to interact with the ecosystem, you should be promoting original maps that can showcase the full power of UEFN. He continued on, the people at the top will stay at the top due to your algorithm that promotes generic, low-effort maps to reign supreme. I mean, half of these UEFN studios release slot maps that have been seen 1,000 times. There is little to no diversity in popular maps right now. Excuse me, I messed up switching over to the next tweet there. If you want people to actually experience your platform, you shouldn't be encouraging the same generic maps while providing little to no support to maps that are actually creative. If you look at any of the most popular UEFN-based studio maps, they are literally all low quality. Now, I understand where this is coming from. I get it, 1000%. But the problem is, at the end of the day, these maps get plays. Is there things Epic Games can do to fix discovery? Maybe make it a little bit easier for brand new kind of just original creative maps to get the spotlight? Yeah, that would be great. But at the end of the day, I don't care how little or low quality a map is. If I enjoy it, I'm going to play it. Like I said, for so long, guys, Go Goated, I always play that map. Bio Zone Wars, I always play that map. I'm somebody who likes to use Zone Wars, and that's easy. It's at the top for me. I've been playing it forever. I'm going to continue playing with it. Is it low effort? Could I do it? I wouldn't say it's low effort. I think that people are really jumping the gun. Of course, it's low effort compared to some of these like engaging, amazing experiences that people are making. Of course, it's low effort compared to that, but at the end of the day, it doesn't need to be low effort or high effort, excuse me. It doesn't need to be that. It doesn't matter how much effort went into it. How many players are playing it? I'll say this, only up. That was just take a bunch of things from chapter 1 and place it upwards. That's low effort. The whole world loved it. The dude's a millionaire. I'm happy for him. It got the players playing. It got the streamers' attention. So I understand where defaulting is coming from, and where a lot of people saying the same thing is coming from. Like, yeah, it's difficult, but it doesn't matter how low quality the maps are. Let's continue on to some other tweets over here, over by 7P. To be clear, the concern is that we also changed the payout formula to shift payouts towards towards islands that attract players to the ecosystem. Could be very petty way of saying we are now going to pay less to creators overall, because it's easy to see how this could benefit from the slice of the 40% that goes back to Epic. There is no way for creators to know if this is happening or not. We just have to take it on the faith that Epic wouldn't do this. Would be interesting with a total number for how much of the 40% goes to creators and how much goes to Epic. To be honest with you, I understand what's coming, but I mean, I don't think it matters. I think map makers should just work a little, like, it sucks to say, of course. It's a little bit difficult right now, right? Like, you got paid so much more and now you got a big pay cut. That sucks, but there's nothing you can do about it. I don't believe we're ever going to find out, so these guys should just work a little bit harder. Let's continue on to Fran XBZ. We need 24/7 moderation and moderators to help automated algorithm rank maps. It cannot be that there is always map content that violates all rules and intellectual property on Discover, please. I agree with this. Like I said, there is a lot that really needs to be fixed with Discovery. There's a ton that needs to be fixed. I'm not sitting here just completely defending Epic. I know a lot of people in these comments, but we have an amazing community over here. I get these comments every once in a while, right? There's a lot of people who are like, oh, well, you don't understand what's bad about Epic Games. You'll never criticize them. I think that Discovery still needs a lot of work. I know there are lots of maps that come out that abuse the rules. And Epic Games, as far as I'm aware, I'm not too in deep with the actions that Epic Games has taken, but from what I've seen from an outside perspective, they're getting a little bit better, but of course, it's still not enough. I agree with this tweet. You need 24/7 moderation. Denny also had something to say. Why shift the entire focus of the payout formula when it can just be an additional metric alongside the old ones? You can still reward creators who encourage new players while also not punishing others who simply make maps that attract existing players. Just seems unfair. Now, I wish I could remember, man, but I just finished listening to a YouTube video while I was in the shower, and it was talking about, maybe it was Little Smurf. Perhaps. But then again, I was just watching him about Lego. Why would that be a thing? Anyways, somebody was talking about OG Fortnite. Forgive me if anybody watching this has made that video and they're commenting down below. It's interesting how Fortnite OG has kind of changed the idea for Epic Games. They want these old players to come back to the game. That seems to be their primary focus. So that way, they have Fortnite OG. A lot of people who aren't playing the game anymore want to come back in Chapter 2 so they can promote Chapter 6 and see the giant number there, and they want to keep those players. I understand why Epic Games would want to prioritize that, but the problem is I don't know if that's really possible to just make maps that constantly bring people back. Like, you'd have to have, and I can't even think of an idea. Like, the only thing that I can think comes close to it is imposters right now, because people like the Among Us formula. I know people in my life that solely like to play Among Us and imposter type games, so that's really the only thing off the top of my head that I can think of. But I get where Epic Games is coming from, but then again, I'm not Epic Games. I don't see their numbers. It's tough. Like, that's just an outside perspective. It's a little bit confusing to me. Anyways, Cruz Fight had this to say: the client isn't thin. We can't create promotional tools the same way as Epic. We can't offer locker skins and cosmetics the way Epic does. This may have increased variety, but it also only lines the pockets of the extremely rich and already successful. Now, this one is really interesting. If I'm not mistaken, I heard something about down the road in UEFN, you'll be able to make your own cosmetics, but I don't know if that's true, so take that with a grain of salt. But I understand that there is still some huge limitations to UEFN. I know down the road, and this is something that I've been talking about on the channel, is I believe like 5 years down the road, this thing is going to be majorly successful. It's difficult to make an experience the same way that Epic Games does. There's a reason why everybody is starved for LTMs right now. At the time of recording this video, Marvel Knockout isn't in the game. When that comes back, and there's a reason why everybody is so interested in it. You can have all the Marvel Mythics in creative. Like, let's say they did that. And I know that might be a thing down the road, but let's say they were in the game. Nobody is capable at this moment of making the same type of LTM on the Battle Royale map, going through different POIs, than Epic Games. It doesn't function the same. At this point, it's not possible. So I understand why these creators are upset about it, but the way I'm sitting here is there's nothing you can do about it. This is Epic Games. I hate, like, this is going to be taken the wrong way, but Epic Games doesn't owe these creators anything. But you can sit here and be like, well, Epic Games is nothing without us. Fortnite's nothing without the player base. They can do without you. They can. I think this is a fantastic thing that they're doing, and I think that everybody should just be grateful that they get to develop and do something that they love and make money on this platform. That's the angle that I'm coming from it. Instead of like, but I understand, this is true. You can't offer locker skins, cosmetics the way Epic does. I get it. You can't do a lot of stuff that Epic Games does, but do your own thing. Come up with your own thing. Be creative about it. Make the best of your situation. And I understand, it lines the pockets of the people that are extremely rich and already successful. At this time, I agree with that, but I do think that that's going to change down the road. I'm talking like maybe a year or two down the road. I think that's going to change, but I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. That's where I'm sitting here. That's what I'm saying about this. Like, what's the point? You can't do anything about it. Do what you can with your own map. Make as much money as you can. Make the best of your entire situation. That's what I believe that these map makers need to do. Let's continue on to Ulf Diaz. This change in the way the formula works is nowhere near helping to grow the pool for everyone. Creators should be rewarded for the quality of their maps, not for the people who download Fortnite just to play them. We are not marketing agencies. It should be Epic, not us, who attract players to the ecosystem. This I actually disagree with. I hear this type of opinion a lot, and I actually agree with this. Now, for all of these big streamers, like CypherPK, for example, I don't know how his map's doing. I haven't played it, but I heard that apparently his Chapter 2 OG map, or is it a Chapter 2 Reload or a Chapter 2 OG? Whatever Chapter 2 thing he came up with, apparently it sucks. That's what I heard. I saw some screenshots of things being clunky, the map just being very, very low effort. But again, that's just the opinions that I've heard about it, okay? I haven't played this for myself. That's what I'm saying. But CypherPK has the influence there. I don't think that everybody should just be jumping on CypherPK. Like, people get so mad when somebody like CypherPK constantly, they post on Twitter. They have worked for years. I think that Cypher's been on the platform for over a decade, building and working 24 hours a day. Have you ever heard about Cypher's story? Cypher has sacrificed his health, his whole life, to get the platform that he has. If he wants to make a UEFN map and promote that to everybody that follows CypherPK, there is nothing wrong with that. Everybody's like, well, what about the people who make better maps and are more creative about it? I don't care. If somebody wants to go play Cypher's map, they can go play Cypher's map. That's awesome that he has the reach. Instead of complaining about Cypher's reach, you can do exactly what he did. There's a reason why he's getting so many plays right now. There's a reason why all of these creators are getting so many plays right now in general. These ones with big followings. It makes sense. They worked so hard to get to the status that they're at. I know, it kind of sucks, especially if you're like such a small creator. You have no following, you don't even do social media, but you made the best map ever. I think that sucks, but there's nothing you can do about it. You need to, this is the way that the program works. You need to get some sort of following. And this is where I do think Discovery could use a change, because I would like it if Epic Games kind of, I don't know how they would do it if they had play testers. There's a lot that we can dive into Discovery for another video one day, but maybe give players those chances. Maybe have a contest, something like Epic Games used to do, where it's like, hey, we'll promote your map for you. I think that'd be nice, but at the same time, I don't care. Like, I don't care that somebody with a large influence is using their influence to get plays on their map. A lot of people constantly complain about that stuff instead of looking at them and seeing a little bit of an inspiration and seeing the success that they can have, and they go, hey, you know what? Maybe I can apply that to myself. Somebody to the likes of Cypher, and I'm sorry I keep using Cypher for an example. It's the only one that's coming to my head. I know there's a lot of people that made UEFN maps, but that is hugely inspiring to me. Like, thinking about like how you can build your influence and then get so much money for building a creative map that, you know what, so many people would say is low effort. I think that's awesome. I think that's incredible. You can sit at your desk, you can build a map, do something that you love, and you can make money, but people are complaining about it. Instead of whining on Twitter about it, why don't you actually work to get a little bit of maybe a following? Let's continue on though. Bean Matthew 4R had this to say: attracting players to Fortnite isn't a real thing. Fortnite gets new players for BR only. No one would install a 70 to 100 gigabyte game just for creative map. The only reason the top 1% of creators is getting more is because they're at the top of Discovery. What new players see first? This is true, but again, we just talked about the the top of the creators getting the maps at the top, but this is where I was kind of stuck earlier, what we were talking about. Attracting players to Fortnite isn't a real thing, aside from BR. I kind of agree with that, and that's why I have just a little bit of a problem with what Epic Games is doing right now. Like I said, the only thing that I can think about is imposters. But then again, I'm sure things like that exist, we just don't know about it. Somebody needs to come up with a new mode. Something like Only Up, but something that nobody's thought of course, right? I know that's very difficult to say because it's so difficult to come up with a new idea, but right now, I can't think of anything. And imposters is even it. I'm saying that imposters is like the closest thing that you can get to that. I'm sure there's other video games out there, but again, as UEFN gets better and better and better, years down the road, people are going to have to be patient, but there's going to be more tools. We're going to get it to a point eventually where you can make your own battle royale experiences and have like drop proximity chat in it, for example, right? I don't know, man. It's really, really tough in that sense, but I understand, again, I understand where everybody is coming from. Now, guys, if you are enjoying this video, I talked about this way too long last time, so I'll keep it really, really simple for you guys. If you guys don't have a code that you are using in the Fortnite item shop, please consider using code Clen. Regardless, make sure you are using a supporter creator code. If you're not using one, please consider using mine. I'm doing my very, very best to keep my wife off of work, and that is one of the best things that's happening in my life, and you guys using the code has helped that so much. Won't talk about that for too long. Let's continue on to fancy UEFN. Please revert. This new payout metric makes no sense for smaller creators. It works for Roblox as it is purely a creator platform. People download Fortnite to play Battle Royale, not creative maps. Our job is to keep them on the game after Battle Royale. But the problem with this is you don't dictate your job. Epic Games can change that, you know? This is Epic's platform. They can do what they want. But I understand where all these creators are coming from. That's why I'm mostly on Epic's side for this, but I usually, like, you guys know what I'm talking about if you've been following the channel. I'm usually on Epic's side for a lot of things, but this time I'm kind of like, I get the frustration from everybody. I get it. It makes sense to be frustrated, especially as a map maker. If you're trying to make it, if you're trying to change your life, right? This is the thing that Epic Games is trying to change, though. People download Fortnite to play Battle Royale. They're trying to change that, and I would imagine down the road, like I said, that will be a thing. We're in this transitional period with Fortnite right now, and it's very, very difficult to keep up with it. So Ryan had this to say: appreciate the response, but 1, the game file is too big for anyone to download just to play a map they found on TikTok. 2, part of the draw to UEFN for developers was built in the player base. Suddenly, it's our job to market Fortnite? Yes. If you build a map, it is your job to market it. You can't, I think if you don't market it, then you have very, very little right to complain about why your map isn't getting plays. You aren't owed plays. You are using Epic space. They don't have a responsibility to promote your map for you. Would that be nice? Yeah. Dude, like I said, I think that it would be cool if they had stuff in Discovery for people to get discoverability. That's the point of Discovery now that I think about it, right? But like, I don't think that anybody has a right to complain. It's a blessing to be on Epic's platform. It is a blessing to be able to make the amount of money that players are making just for making a creative map. That's crazy that people are complaining about that to me. Yeah, you do have a responsibility to promote your own map if you want more players. Let's continue on to the Doomed Reaper. So embarrassing. It's truly a shame what you've done to not only Fortnite Creative, but Fortnite's look as a whole. It's completely humiliating for Discovery to be in the state that it is, and for the moderation to be so crap that it's not even worth having. Genuinely has to be intentional. Now, I've actually seen the has to be intentional type thing thrown around a lot, especially over the years. I don't want to come out and say that any opinion is ridiculous, but how could people possibly think, how could you guys possibly think that Epic Games is trying to hurt their own game? People legitimately believe that, okay? Now, I understand this tweet from the Raging Reaper could just be exaggerating, but this is the first one that I saw that had a little bit, like, that had this opinion about it. And then, of course, I saw more and more as time goes on. But I agree with the part about moderation. There is an issue with moderation. We've seen too many, and I hate using this word because it's so overused nowadays, but problematic maps. Like, they're just the horrible things that we've seen, the horrible things that I can't even repeat. Yeah, you know what? There needs to be better moderation. Like, we took a look at a tweet earlier. We need 24/7 moderation from Epic Games, but I don't think this damages Fortnite's look as a whole. Again, we're just in a transitional period, and this is going to be one of the greatest things to ever happen in gaming history as time goes on. I'm not talking about the pay, I'm talking about Fortnite Creative and UEFN in general. Let's take a look at something that Aussie Creates had to say over here. We are map creators, not marketers. Anyone who installs Fortnite for the first time is automatically dumped into BR and 2 Battle Pass trailers automatically to play before that. You can't possibly expect us to convince non-Fortnite players to download a 70GB game, go to the search bar, type in the map code, play our map. This is extremely unrealistic, and creators are going to be even less capable of marketing their own maps now that the payouts are even lower. This change should be reverted until we have proper use. I'm sorry. I don't know what UGC is. Maybe, like, if that's a problem, I'm going to have a problem replying to this tweet now. I'm sorry about that, guys. Anyways, UGC platform and the tools to actually be able to do what you expect us to do. Now, I agree that there's tools that creators don't have right now that absolutely should be coming, and it's a lot easier said than done, right? I'm sure that Epic Games is working on rolling this out as fast as they can because they want that metaverse push. They want that out, right? They want creators to make the best experiences possible. But again, guys, this is the problem with the way that they're doing payouts right now. This is right. You can't possibly expect us to convince non-Fortnite players to download a 70GB game, go to the search bar, type in the map code, play our map. You would need like a PewDiePie level of influence to be able to do that. And I've seen a lot of people say, well, isn't it possible to have people just able to download the UEFN game? I understand that, and I understand Epic Games' response to that in the sense where it's like, we want this to be like this. We need this to get people in the game as fast as possible. You can't just have people wait for a download. They'll lose interest in that. I get that, but this tweet is also right in the sense like it's very, very difficult, but I do disagree. Again, we are map creators, not marketers. There's a better way that Epic Games needs to have accessibility for these maps. I don't know what that is, though. That's the issue, right? But I disagree completely about the marketing thing. You need to market your own map. That's a responsibility you have. You're essentially creating your own business. What are you gonna like? That's like creating, like, I don't know, a candy bar. I just thought of Mr. Beast chocolates. It's like creating a candy bar, getting a deal with Walmart. Not even getting a deal. Like, let's say you were allowed to just walk into Walmart, right? Put it down. Hey, Walmart, why aren't you selling my candy bar? Like, it's not Walmart's job to do that, man. That's why I'm shaking my head at this, right? You have a responsibility. You're building your own business. You're building your own brand. Why should that responsibility fall on Epic Games' lap? You're not owed anything because you're on their platform. Let's continue on. Richie Toons had something to say about this. Changing the new player reward thing will be hard, and Epic needs to be reasonable with the money they give out to not F up the whole thing. But I think the solution is not increasing payout, but giving creators more revenue. Options like creator-made shops, obviously heavily moderated. This is something that I'm almost sure that Epic Games said was coming. I could be wrong about that, but I thought that was something that was planned. Regardless, I do like this tweet over from Richie Toons. Let's continue on to Velasco. Again, how am I as a solo creator going to get new people to play Fortnite for the first time when millions of people have already played, have new person downloaded to the game, and find their way to my map first? You need to build an influence. You need to get people interested in your map. You need to make trailers. You need to stream your map, and maybe people will come across for you. Those are just off the top of my head. It is very, very difficult. Do you know how many people are making maps? You need to find a way to stand out instead of just coming on and crying on Twitter about it. Everybody needs to figure out a way to do it because it is absolutely 100% possible. Maestro Shark piped up and had something to say. If UEFN has taught us anything, it's that marketing is more important than the game. Being a talented artist is not going to cut it. You need to collaborate and produce quality marketing on social media, build an audience so you don't have to stress about flimsy algorithms. I love where this guy's head at. That's exactly correct. Now, does it suck that marketing is more important than the actual functionality of the map? Yeah, because we do see, while I do say, like, I think that people overhype and put down a lot of low effort maps, I'm talking about legitimate low effort maps. The ones from the screenshots that I've been seeing from like Cypher BK. Those, I understand. Because you can get away, you just need to market it and people come on and play it. I don't know what the numbers are, but I love what that tweet had to say. Now, Code Dev had this to say, this is not promoting variety. Since the start of UEFN, I've yet to see a new map break into the Untouchable Maps creator list. And now, of course, we have Go Goated, Tilted Zone Wars. I don't know what Pandaville box fights are. I've never played that. Anyways, The Pit, Free-for-all. Yeah, it sucks, man. It's very difficult to get to the top. It's just like the YouTube ecosystem we have right now. There are YouTubers at the top. There are YouTubers like I'm trying to do right now. I've been trying to do for years. There are people at the top of the Fortnite space that seem to be untouchable. It's so difficult. It's one of the most difficult things you could possibly do is break in and break out and find your way to fit in with all of these. But it's possible. It's absolutely possible. It's just difficult. I don't think that it's like me saying just because I'm making this YouTube video right now, because I put so much work into my channel. I work for hours and hours a day. I think about my content all the time. Hey, YouTube, why am I not on the top with Ninja, Nick A30? Why are you not showing me why am I not getting as much views as them? That's what I feel like everybody is. That's what I feel like everybody's kind of alluding to in this sense. But again, there are a lot of, don't take me out of context over here. There's a lot of really, really understandable criticism coming over from UEFN and Discovery in general. So let's bring it back to Richie Toons, because there was a little bit of a thread that got a little bit more attention that I wanted to take a look at. Richie Toons also had this to say, WTF is this UEFN payout? How am I supposed to fuel my secondary yacht? Am I supposed to fly back with my private jet like a peasant? Fix this now. Of course, mocking everything that's going on. There is a reply to him. It's not funny at all. Some of us are feeding a family or employees. We make plans, projections. They can't cut revenue by 2, just like that with zero planning and communication. Richie Toons responded to this. It wasn't zero communication. They posted the changes in May. 2, if one bad month makes you not able to pay your employees or feed your family, you are a very bad businessman. 3, I totally understand it sucks you earn less this month, but it also the first month and could potentially also have other reasons than just this change, like just generally lower player numbers, earnings. This I saw, and this I absolutely loved. This is a perfect take from Richie Toons. It wasn't zero communication, and the second one is so important because so many people are like, well, I have a family. There's people that need to feed their families. There's people that have employees. There are so many people collaborating with each other right now and paying each other. If one bad month makes you not able to pay your employees or feed your family, you are a bad businessman. Perhaps you shouldn't have employees. Perhaps you shouldn't have people relying on you, because it's absolutely possible to succeed in this space. Like I've been talking about this whole video, guys, it sucks. It really, really does suck. I understand the frustration from everybody, but at the end of the day, what are you going to do about it? There's so many people, you know what? I guarantee you there's people that are not on social media right now, see this, and are working just as hard on their maps. There are so many people giving up. There are so many people quitting right now because of this payout. You need to sit back and think about what... I can't think of another word other than blessing, to be honest with you. What a privilege it is to be able to sit with your first world issues on your nice computer. I don't know if you can do it on an Xbox. I don't know what the capabilities are there right now, but it doesn't even matter, okay? It's a privilege to be able to make money within this ecosystem. Epic Games doesn't have to give you anything. Do you know if Epic Games right now sat back and decided to not pay anybody, or if they came out with this entire UEFN program and didn't pay a single soul, people would be on there just to kind of get the clout or just for their creativity. Epic Games doesn't have to give us anything. Epic Games doesn't have to give people supporter creator code. I am thankful that I make as little as I do from Epic Games supporter creator code. And don't get me wrong, I'm thankful. I don't mean to say that I'm not making enough or anything. I am so grateful to see the little bits that has been coming in from Epic Games into my bank account. I can't believe that. I'm talking about Fortnite, a game that I love, and I'm getting paid for it. I think that's what all of these map makers need to take a look at. You want to make this a full-time job? I understand. I want to do YouTube full-time. It just is going to take so much more work than that. Epic Games did communicate with everybody. We knew that this can change. It's unreliable at this moment, and it's irresponsible for a lot of people to just stop what they're doing and do this full-time. This is something you need to work on for years down the road before you can make it a full-time thing. This is something you need to work on for a very, very long time. Any business ever has taken years upon years to grow their brand. It's the exact same thing right now. Stop going on Twitter, stop going on social media and blaming all of your issues at Epic Games, saying that Epic Games should essentially pay you for not marketing your map, for just making the map and throwing it out there and expecting to succeed. That's not what the top creators do. That's not what Ninja does. That's not what CypherPK does. That's not what Nick830 does. That's not what any of these creators do. And I know that not everybody that I just said makes maps, but you get the point that I'm saying. These people have dedicated years upon years upon years of their lives to their craft, and this is exactly what you need to do with Unreal Engine Fortnite. You need to make the best of your situation. It is a privilege to be paid by Epic Games in general. They don't need to give you anything. If you're making money from this, you are straight up blessed. I know there are many, many people in this world, and I know that there are generations before you that would kill to be able to sit at their desk and just have money transferred into your bank account for building something in a video game. You need to take a look at it that way, and I get it. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to make money, but that's the reality of the situation. Epic Games did communicate. We knew this was going to change. I didn't know this, but apparently a lot of people did. I didn't know that statement was from Epic Games. And that's why my reaction to this initially was very different. But you need to change your entire thought process. You need to analyze your situation, and you need to act accordingly about it. What are you going to do? How are you going to stand out? Do you need to build an influence? Do you need to market your map better? Instead of, hey, Epic Games, you should market my map for me, just go and market your map. What are you waiting for? Somebody else is going to do it if you're not. If you want to succeed, you need to change your entire attitude to the situation. You need to remember that this is a privilege to be on this platform right now, and a privilege that you are having money sent in your bank account just for sitting here. I understand it's a lot more work than that, but you get what I'm saying. I'm sure that you wouldn't want to work a 9 to 5. I'm sure you wouldn't want to do any construction. You're not destroying your back, and you are going to live a good life, guys. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for watching. If you're interested, we have more creative drama for you to take a look at. If you like this video, this one is going to really send you, guys. I suggest you take a look at that video right here. Thank you so much for being here. Take care.